Breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Right now on Fox 50, we're following two breaking news stories, including Raleigh police investigating a shooting at an apartment complex. And a man is dead after he was found shot to death in a car in Durham.
And this morning, starting out, frigid temperatures remain in the teens and in the 20s. We'll show you when we start to see some patchy light freezing rain in parts of the area coming up.
And you got to deal with all that as holiday travel is still in full swing. We're going to tell you the best and the worst times for hitting the road today if you're going to start your holiday destinations. And if you're going at the last minute, I'm sorry. Can't help you with that one. May all the blessings be in your favor as you're headed out there today. Hey, thanks so much for joining us here on WRAL News on Fox 50. I'm Chris Lovingood.
And I'm Laura Levine. Yes, we know that today will be a busy day on the roads, but listen, if you're also heading out grabbing some last-minute Christmas gifts, be sure to bundle up. It's a chilly one, Chris. I know you're tracking the temps for us this morning.
Yeah, temperatures keep dropping, right? We're at 24 right now at RDU. This has been one of the coldest mornings this month across much of the area. Clear skies, so hopefully that allows for some smooth travel if you have a flight out of some of our major hubs. Temperatures by midday, mid-topper 30s. Between 2 and 4 p.m., we're in the mid-topper 40s. So plenty of sunshine, but we got to watch the thermometer heading into tomorrow morning. Here's why. You've got this coastal low. That's going to throw a little bit of moisture in our direction. So some showers for tomorrow morning and even some patchy light freezing rain. That's why we have a WRAL weather alert day for a narrow time frame tomorrow morning. It looks like it would be between about 3 a.m. and 7 a.m. So if you can delay your travel beyond that, I think you'll be good to go. Nonetheless, we'll have the latest hour-by-hour outlook with Futurecast coming up in just a bit.
All right, thank you, Chris. We do want to get a breaking update. This one coming from State Highway Patrol. What you're seeing right now is a live look from I-40 at Wade Avenue, but you can see it's busy out there. I just want to tell you this update we just received from State Highway Patrol. Essentially in Orange County, there was a crash that happened on NC Highway 57 near Phelps Road near Hillsborough. The road was closed in both directions while authorities were there investigating. Now, it has since reopened, but what we're doing here at WRAL News, we are trying to figure out if, in fact, there were any injuries with this, any fatalities, anything of that sort. So stay with us as we get you this. But do want to show you the traffic map here. Mostly clear. There are two different traffic nodes that are here on the icons on the map. We're going to look a little more into them to see if there's anything significant that will cause any delays as people are heading out and about, including to RDU. Breaking news this morning, around 1:30, police found a man shot to death in a crashed vehicle in Durham. Investigators have part of East Carver Street shut down as they are investigating. Nick Perlin has been there for hours in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. And Nick, I know the last time we talked with you, they removed some of the evidence markers there. Any other changes that you've seen in the past 30 minutes?
Chris, I can tell you this crime scene looks exactly how it's looked the last hour. You see the crime scene tape here right beside me as Durham police are continuing their investigation early this morning. Let's get you to some video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. This is from 2 a.m. and you can see the evidence markers here as well as the crime scene tape blocking off the area around Carver Street. Now also take a look at this. There's a black car that was crashed here, and that's what Durham police found when they arrived here. They found this car crashed, and inside of it there was a man who was shot to death. Now, at this point in time, we are still working with the Durham Police Department to find out what led up to the shooting and if they have any idea who fired those gunshots early this morning. Of course, once we get new details, I'll be sure to update you. Live in Durham, Nick Perlin, WRAL News.
Breaking news, Raleigh police are investigating a shooting at a North Raleigh apartment complex. Officers tell us this was reported before 4 o'clock this morning from Cedar Forest Way near Atlantic Avenue. That's where we find WRAL's Kelsey Coffey this morning. Kelsey, we've learned that one man is in critical condition.
Laura, that new information coming in from Raleigh police in the last hour. One man is in critical condition this morning and another person is in custody. So right now this scene is still very active. It's been active for the last 4 hours. We'll zoom in a little bit so you can see now we see some crime scene tape now outside of this apartment complex. But we'll also take you to some video that we shot from earlier this morning to give you a closer look at that scene. The shooting happened at an apartment complex on Cedar Forest Way near Atlantic Avenue. And Raleigh police say they received a call about this around 3:50 this morning. So this is still an ongoing investigation. We'll keep you updated. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
We're working to learn more about a fight police say broke out between patients at Holly Hill Hospital's children's campus. Our crew on the scene saw dozens of Raleigh police cars investigating. Police say a large fight broke out between patients and staff who had to get involved to break up the fight. Many of the children in the mental health facility are involuntarily committed. Police say no one was arrested and no one needed to go to the hospital for any injuries. We have asked whether patients had to be transported for other reasons. Several sources tell us Holly Hill patients started rioting, although officials have not confirmed that piece of information yet.
In fact, Laura, WRAL Investigates has extensively covered the hospital system after at least 7 children escaped the facility since 2021. Employees tell us Holly Hill faces a severe staffing shortage. State inspections also revealed Holly Hill has violated multiple standards of care.
One person is injured after a shooting at a Cary shopping center. This happened around 8:30 last night in the parking lot of Burlington Coat Factory off Walnut Street. One person was taken to the hospital. This is Cary's third shooting in just 4 days.
The man suspected in one of those shootings, in fact, will make his first court appearance today. Cary police say 24-year-old Malik Scott McLaren shot and killed 23-year-old Corey McNeil. That reportedly happened inside the green parking garage at Fenton on Friday night. Court documents show that Scott McLaren was an employee of Sun State Security Company. It provides unarmed security for Fenton, and the company says it is cooperating with authorities.
President Biden has announced that he will commute dozens of death row inmate sentences. Clemency will be granted to 37 of the 40 federal inmates facing death sentences. Their sentences will be commuted to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The 3 inmates who did not get clemency are the convicted murderer in the Tree of Life synagogue shooting, the gunman at Mother Emanuel Church of Charleston, and the surviving Boston Marathon bomber. This all comes just before Donald Trump will return to the Oval Office with a promise to restart federal executions.
With Christmas Eve tomorrow, many people are driving or even flying to their holiday destinations. AAA, in fact, projects 90% of holiday travelers will drive to their holiday gatherings. That's more than 107 million people. If you're going to be driving today, you're going to want to do that before 11 a.m. to avoid the congestion. The worst time on the roads today will be between 1 and 6 p.m.
So let's get a look at some of the gas prices that you'll see as you head out on the roads. The current average in North Carolina is $2.84. That's less than this time last year when the average was $2.96. The current average in Raleigh is $2.87, a few cents above the state average.
Today, volunteers are out in the cold to make a warm Christmas meal for families who may not have one this year. The Durham Rescue Mission is hosting its 47th annual Christmas Community Dinner and Toy Giveaway. That starts at 11 a.m. That's when families can enjoy a free traditional hot Christmas meal. We're talking ham, we're talking turkey, and all the fixings. Each child will also receive 3 toys. Plus, there's going to be a drawing for 3, or I should say, large grand prizes, including Switch TVs, Nintendo Switches, Chromebooks, and bicycles. And that is all happening on the men's campus on East Main Street in Durham.
Well, here's some news many people were waiting to hear. Steve Belichick is set to join his dad, Bill Belichick's staff, as defensive coordinator at UNC. The news was first reported by 247 Sports. Belichick spent last season as the University of Washington's defensive coordinator. He was a defensive assistant under his dad in New England from 2012 to 2023. WRAL has an exclusive timeline of our coverage from beginning to now on how Bill Belichick became UNC's head coach. You can find it on WRAL's YouTube page titled Timeline Chapel Bill.
Your time is 8:08 this morning. A truck slammed into a Texas mall. The intense scene as people were shopping for Christmas and the connections the driver has to North Carolina.
Plus, a scandal rocking Hollywood. The fallout from Blake Lively's explosive allegations against her It Ends With Us co-star.
And Christmas Eve is a WRAL weather alert day, at least for portions of the morning where we see the potential for some patchy light freezing rain. I'll show you when and where we expect to see that coming up in just a little bit.
Welcome back as you're taking a live look over the WRAL fountain, or as our crew likes to call it, Fountain Mountain. We're starting off the day pretty chilly, as you can see some of that water there frozen with the ice. Meteorologist Chris Michaels tracking the chilly temps for us, Chris. And this is certainly a day that you want to bundle up.
Yeah, and Fountain Mountain will tell you all about it, right? Temperature of 24 in Raleigh, but there's some other parts of the area in the upper teens like Roxborough and South Hill. Clinton's at 26, Southern Pines is at 20 degrees. Maybe doing some last minute shopping, as Laura was saying, bundle up in the layers. You'll need it, especially early this morning. By midday, we're in the mid to upper 30s. By 2 p.m. through 4 p.m., we managed to reach the mid to upper 40s, but we got to keep a close eye on the temperature early tomorrow morning. This is why we have a WRAL weather alert day in effect, because at the same time the temperatures are close to freezing, we have some scattered showers moving in, so you stand the chance for some patches of light freezing rain. Some of the latest data showing a later start time to the precipitation, so that really narrows the time frame for us to see any patchy light freezing rain, but I would expect that prior to 6:30, 6:45 tomorrow morning. After 7:30, 8 o'clock, that's when I think traveling is going to be okay. Still some rain, and some of it heavy at times toward the eastern half of the state, so be mindful of that. But as we head into the afternoon on Christmas Eve, things look to be smooth sailing with a high temperature about 45 to 50 degrees. And I'm feeling really good about the Christmas forecast. I do think we see more cloud cover, but we go from 30s in the morning to 50s in the afternoon. That is pretty much spot on for average temperatures this time of year. And just looking beyond Christmas a little bit, there will be an area of low pressure to the west that could throw some rain in our direction this weekend. So something to check back in with if you have some post-Christmas travel plans for the upcoming weekend. 7-day forecast today, we're in the 40s. Again, tomorrow's our WRAL weather alert day for that narrow time frame where we could see some patchy light freezing rain. Beyond that, average temperatures through Friday and then warming up heading into the weekend.
And I tell you what, Chris, traffic-wise, things are looking mostly pretty calm right now. But, you know, I mean, it's pretty busy out there, too, right? Obviously, we're the day before Christmas Eve. Plenty of people out there on I-440 and Capitol Boulevard, as you just saw right there. And previously, we were showing you two different accident icons on the map. That's been reduced to one, right? So there's that improvement that we're seeing here. We're still trying to get more specifics regarding a crash that was reported on Saturday night that shut down a North Carolina highway in Orange County. This was near Phelps Road, near Hillsborough. It closed in both area there, and we are trying to figure out if, in fact, this was a fatal crash. We do know it was serious, though. We're just trying to get more specifics with it. Otherwise, things are looking pretty green across the area, and especially clear if you're headed out toward RDU to travel.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center, following some breaking news within the last 10 minutes, CNN is reporting that the House Ethics Report finds evidence that former Representative Matt Gaetz paid tens of thousands of dollars to more than a dozen women for sex or drugs on at least 20 different occasions, including payment to a 17-year-old girl for sex in 2017. The committee said that Gaetz violated Florida state laws, including the state's statutory rape law. Earlier this month, the House Ethics Committee secretly voted to release its report after initially voting against doing so. Gaetz has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing. He resigned from Congress after President-elect Trump nominated him to be Attorney General. He did withdraw his nomination, but again, the House Ethics Committee finding evidence that Matt Gaetz paid tens of thousands of dollars to women for sex and drugs.
Watching closely to see what Gaetz and his legal team is saying on this. Thank you, Michelle. Meanwhile, President-elect Donald Trump is dismissing any suggestion that he is being usurped by Elon Musk. This happened after Musk helped derail an emergency spending bill to avert a government shutdown. Trump was in Phoenix yesterday, speaking at his largest event since winning the election. And during his speech, he addressed his cabinet picks, tax cuts, and ending the war in Ukraine. Trump also attempted to put to bed rumors that Musk was actually pulling the strings.
He's not going to be president, that I can tell you. And I'm safe. You know why? He can't be. He wasn't born in this country.
It's true. Musk was born in South Africa, and the Constitution requires the president to be a natural-born citizen. Musk spent more than $250 million to help get Trump elected. After his victory, Trump tapped him to head a new non-governmental office with the mission to reduce government costs and inefficiencies.
Meanwhile, Ivanka Trump says she's leaving politics with no plans to return. She's worked for her father since she was 23. Sources close to Ivanka say she and her husband, Jared Kushner, want to live more private lives. They also say she's still doing some quiet investing in certain areas of interest.
A suspected drunk driver who crashed into a shopping mall in Texas has a connection to here locally. This is that crash in which 5 people were seriously injured. The suspect is 53-year-old John Schultz. Investigators say he crashed through a JCPenney and then kept driving in the store. Police say they exchanged gunfire with Schultz and killed him. Records show previous addresses for him in Hope Mills, Fayetteville, even Rayford. That last one is where he faced a foreclosure on a home back in 2009 before moving to Texas. He was also charged with passing bad checks in Hope County.
A memorial is growing in Germany for those killed and injured in a car attack at a Christmas market. People have been putting candles and flowers to pay their respects. 5 people were killed and more than 200 were injured on Friday when police say a man plowed through the market. Police have arrested a 50-year-old Saudi Arabian doctor. Forensic scientists are investigating whether he had intentionally disabled the car's emergency braking system to maximize impact.
New York police have arrested someone in connection with killing a woman on the subway by setting her on fire. This happened early yesterday morning. Police say the man approached the woman on a train car and intentionally set her on fire. He then left the crime scene. Now, they believe he used a lighter to set a blanket on fire that the woman was wearing, and she died at the scene.
The FAA is investigating a small plane crash in Los Angeles County. Authorities responded to a call of a downed plane with 2 passengers on board on a golf course in LA. The plane was found upside down next to the driving range at the Victoria Golf Course. Fortunately, authorities say the 2 people on board the plane were able to walk away from the wreckage. No one on the ground was injured.
Now, as many Americans are wrapping up their Christmas shopping, Amazon workers are striking at delivery hubs across the nation. Thousands of drivers for firms that contract with Amazon walked off the job across the country Thursday morning. And that strike is growing with another warehouse joining over the weekend. The workers are organized by the Teamsters Union. They demand a fair union contract that guarantees wages, health care, and safety. Their words. Teamsters Union president says that if packages arrive late for the holidays, it's not the Teamsters' fault. It's Amazon's.
They chose to cause this disruption. And, their narrative's great, how, they care about the consumers. This has nothing to do with the consumers. This has nothing to do with time. And we have leverage. This is our leverage right now to show how valuable these workers are, both inside and outside. And Amazon chose this timing, not us.
And Amazon is saying their operations are largely unaffected. They also say the Teamsters have been bullying Amazon workers into joining. And the company says that since the striking workers aren't employees, they're just contractors, they have no reason to bargain with them.
Tonight only on WRAL at 6. 5 on your sides, Keely Arthur takes us inside a massive Atlanta warehouse where thousands of packages are carefully inspected every day.
It's an adventure that never ends. We are the front line to protect America, and we take that very seriously every single day.
So from counterfeit goods to dangerous baby toys and lots of fake Ozempic and Botox, we'll show you what was found and how agents ensure that the bad stuff stays out of the country and the unproblematic packages make it right in time for Christmas. We're following some new fallout from Blake Lively's sexual harassment allegations against her co-star and director of the hit movie It Ends With Us. The author, whose book inspired the movie, is now speaking out. David Noriega has the latest.
Tonight, scandal rocking Hollywood as the fallout begins from Blake Lively's explosive allegations against co-star Justin Baldoni. Talent agency giant WME telling the New York Times it dropped Baldoni from its roster just one day after Lively filed a legal complaint accusing him of sexual harassment and retaliation.
I want to see you again.
Now you see me.
You know what I mean.
Baldoni starred in and directed the box office hit It Ends With Us, a film about domestic violence based on the best-selling book by romance novelist Colleen Hoover. Hoover herself coming out in support of Lively on social media this weekend, urging her to never change, never wilt. The allegations first made public in a New York Times investigation by Megan Twohey, whose reporting on sex abuse in Hollywood helped trigger the Me Too movement.
Why do you think it's important in this moment?
It's really a story that raises questions about the integrity and authenticity of the online narratives that exist today and to what extent they're being manipulated by people for hire.
The 80-page legal complaint, a precursor to a possible lawsuit, alleges in graphic detail harassment by Baldoni on the production set, including kissing and touching Lively in unwanted ways during filming, and repeatedly commenting on her appearance, weight, and sexual history. An attorney for Baldoni calling the allegations categorically false. Lively and Baldoni never promoted the film together after its release, sparking rumors of a feud, with Lively frequently coming under fire online.
I'm wondering if Blake is actually the problem.
Something she now alleges was the result of a smear campaign masterminded by Baldoni's crisis PR team.
This really reveals a new playbook. This raises questions about who else is sort of being targeted. I mean, to use their own language, they use the terms social manipulation.
The legal battle only beginning, the PR battle raging on.
Sonic the Hedgehog 3 sped far ahead of Mufasa the Lion King in the race for the weekend's domestic box office crown. The movie earned $62 million, giving the threequel the second best opening for the Sonic franchise. Variety reports Paramount Pictures has already started planning for a fourth Sonic movie to arrive in the spring of 2027. Disney's prequel sequel Mufasa the Lion King came in second in its debut weekend. The musical made $35 million. Recovering months after Helene, how one family is leaning on friends and family to help them get through this next chapter.
Well, it's a holiday travel train wreck. What Amtrak says was behind its weekend chaos after thousands of people were stranded at stations across the East Coast.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
The time is 8:26. I'm Laura Levine. Here's meteorologist Chris Michaels with a look at the forecast.
It's a cold one out there. Temperatures in the teens and 20s still as of 8:26 this morning. Apex starting to pick up a little bit. Mostly sunny sky, but that's really not going to help to bail things out very much in terms of temperatures. Hour by hour, midday, we're in the mid to upper 30s. Between 2 and 4 p.m., we're in the mid to upper 40s. Plenty of sunshine out there. But as we head toward tomorrow morning, especially before 7 a.m., could see some patches of freezing rain coming in. In fact, some brand new forecast data coming in behind the scenes. I'll be sharing that with you over on Fox 50.
And we're also taking a look at your traffic this morning. Things for the most part looking pretty clear, although I do see two different crash icons here on the map. We've essentially been kind of going into them here this morning, seeing what this actually is and how it's affecting your commute as you're headed out the day before Christmas Eve. We'll continue to watch very closely to see if there are any injuries with these crash reports. But for the most part, as I just mentioned, things are mostly green and clear.
Thanks, Chris. One person is in police custody after an early morning shooting at a North Raleigh apartment complex. This happened on Cedar Forest Way near Atlantic Avenue. Police say they found one man suffering from serious injuries. He was taken to the hospital. A man and woman were detained for questioning. Police say they believe the man is the shooter. One man is dead following a shooting along East Carver Street in Durham. Police arrived to the scene near the intersection of North Roxborough Street, and that happened around 1:30 this morning, and that's where they found the man dead in a crashed car. There is no word yet if anyone is in custody. And next on Fox 50, volunteers at the Durham Rescue Mission are preparing to spread some holiday cheer. You can catch us on Fox 50 right now.
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
WRAL News has continued to stay on top of two breaking news scenes. In Raleigh, a man in critical condition after he was shot at a North Raleigh apartment complex. And we are taking you to Durham, where a road is closed after a man was found shot to death in a car.
And this morning we start out frigid still. Temperatures are in the teens and in the 20s. I'll show you when and where we see some patchy light freezing rain tomorrow morning coming up.
And braving the cold, how volunteers at the Durham Rescue Mission are preparing to help spread some holiday cheer this morning. Always great to see them out there doing amazing things, especially with these temperatures.
Oh, goodness gracious, yes.
Thank you so much for joining us on your Monday. I'm Laura Levine.
And I'm Chris Lovingood. And I tell you what, today, like you just mentioned, this is the day where I'm sure a lot of people would appreciate to have a nice warm meal. Exactly, because of how cold it's going to be outside. Chris Michaels has been tracking that all morning. Some places even hit 17 shooting this morning, Chris.
Yeah, Southern Pines is one of those places that was one of our coldest spots. A lot of us still in the low to mid 20s, despite the sun rising outside from the Natural Science Museum out there. Looks like some folks getting to work. Meanwhile, as we get toward midday, mid to upper 30s, still going to hold on to that sunshine. So at some point between 2 and 4 p.m., we reach the mid to upper 40s. Got to keep an eye on the temperature heading into the overnight. Any other night, dropping toward freezing is not a big deal, but we do see some precipitation moving in. If you're heading north toward Philly, Baltimore, and D.C., they have a winter weather advisory due to some freezing rain. We don't have a winter weather advisory, but we do have this small window of opportunity for some patchy light freezing rain, hence a WRAL weather alert day for early tomorrow morning on your Christmas Eve. I have the latest data with Futurecast coming up momentarily.
All right, thanks, Chris. We do want to give people their traffic report if they're headed out for their commute here. So what we have here on the top left corner, we're giving you a live look at the camera. This is I-440 at Capitol Boulevard. And on the top right, we've got I-40 at Wade Avenue. Now, in terms of how traffic is looking, I mean, yeah, the congestion seems just about where you think it would be around the holiday time. A lot of people out there trying to do their last minute holiday shopping. I will join you later. And if you look at the map here in the middle of the screen, I'm only seeing 2 different crash icons on it. But in terms of what specifically is happening in these crashes, haven't quite seen a report of that come through the WRAL newsroom just yet. We're basically kind of going back and forth with our news desk to try to see if there is more information. Otherwise, things are looking nice and green and clear, especially if you're headed out to RDU, where you're going to be flying out for your holiday travel.
Now to this breaking news in Raleigh. Raleigh police are investigating a shooting at a North Raleigh apartment complex. Officers tell us the call came in just before 4 o'clock this morning from Cedar Forest Way. That's near Atlantic Avenue. And that's where we find WRAL's Kelsey Coffey. Kelsey, what are you seeing at this time? I know you've been there since about 4 o'clock this morning.
Laura, new information in the last 10 minutes from Raleigh police. They say a man and a woman were taken into custody, and that man is believed to be the suspect in this case. So let's give you a look now at the scene here that's been active for more than 4.5 hours now. We'll also show you some video from earlier this morning. Police say they received a call about this around 3:50 this morning. When they arrived, they found a man who was shot with serious injuries. He's now in the hospital. This shooting happened at an apartment complex on Cedar Forest Way near Atlantic Avenue. And police say right now they aren't searching for anyone else in this case, and there's no threat to the community. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
And we are still following a breaking news story. Around 1:30 this morning, police found a man shot to death in a crashed car in Durham. Police have part of East Carver Street shut down as they investigate. Nick Perlin is there in the WRAL breaking news tracker. Nick, I probably should check in with you. Is that still the case? I mean, I still see the crime scene tape there behind you.
Yeah, Chris, the crime scene tape is still up behind me, and it's been like this for roughly 7 hours as Durham police continue to investigate that shooting that left a man dead inside of a car. Now, I want to show you this video from the WRAL breaking news tracker, and this is what this looked like at around 2 this morning. You can see evidence markers scattered throughout the street, more police tape blocking off the area, and this black car that was damaged by the windows right here. We do know Durham police arrived here on East Carver Street at around 1:30 this morning. That's where they found a man dead inside this car after being shot. Now, at this point in time, we're still working to find out with Durham police if they know what led up to this shooting, and we're also trying to find out if they know who fired those gunshots early this morning. We'll stay on top of this and let you know if we get any new information. In Durham, Nick Perlin, WRAL News.
And WRAL is working to learn more about a fight police say broke out between patients at Holly Hill Hospital's children's campus. Our crew on the scene saw dozens of Raleigh police officers there, and police say that a large fight broke out between patients. Staff even got involved just to break up the fight. Many of the children in the mental health facility are involuntarily committed. But police say no one was arrested and no one needed to go to the hospital for injuries. But we are asking whether patients were transported for other reasons. Sources tell WRAL that Holly Hill patients started rioting, though officials have not confirmed that part of the story. But WRAL has extensively covered the hospital system after at least 7 children escaped since 2021. Employees tell us Holly Hill faces a severe staffing shortage. State inspections revealed Holly Hill has violated multiple standards of care.
One person is injured after a shooting at a Cary shopping center. This happened around 8:30 last night in the parking lot of Burlington Coat Factory off Walnut Street. One person was taken to the hospital. This is Cary's 3rd shooting in 4 days. 2 people in Durham are out of their home days before Christmas after their home caught on fire. Fire crews arrived on Woodlawn Drive before 8 last night to find flames coming from the back of the home. It took firefighters about 15 minutes to get the fire under control. The house has heavy damage, but crews stopped the fire from spreading to nearby homes. 2 adults got out safely and are now being helped by the Red Cross. Now, the cause of the fire is still under investigation.
Amtrak service has resumed this morning after a holiday traffic mess along the East Coast. You see this behind me here? This is what it looked like in Penn Station yesterday. Thousands of passengers were left stranded for hours. Routes between New York, Philly, D.C., and Boston were delayed or canceled. Amtrak says this was because of downed power lines blocking tracks and equipment unavailability. Now, this couldn't happen at a worse time for holiday travelers desperate to get where they're going for the holidays.
Our Christmas celebration is this evening. I got my big suitcase of gifts and just trying to get out of here.
Amtrak says it will waive additional charges for customers who changed their reservation.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center. Speaking of travel, a lot of people will be going to the airports today and keeping an eye on some delays and cancellations. RDU right now, I just refreshed the page. Looks like there are 7 delays, no cancellations right now for RDU, which is some good news. But again, check your flight status before you leave the house today. Up in the Northeast, they have gotten some winter weather over the weekend. Right now, we're looking at 59 delays out of Kennedy and 3 cancellations. So a lot of cancellations. But I mean, take a look at Boston. 75 delays at Logan International. Nothing is canceled right now. But again, the Northeast seeing a lot of winter weather over the weekend. That's likely contributing to these delays. So again, check your flight status before you leave the house today.
Absolutely, Michelle. Thank you. Today, the man accused of shooting and killing the CEO of United Healthcare is expected to be arraigned in New York. Luigi Mangione is accused of murdering Brian Thompson on a Manhattan street earlier this month. He was extradited Thursday from Pennsylvania to New York. He faces 11 state charges there, including first-degree murder as an act of terrorism. He also faces a slew of federal charges. If found guilty, he faces a maximum sentence of either the death penalty or life in prison.
Investigators say someone in a moving vehicle shot into another car on I-95. The Harnett County Sheriff's Office says a passenger was seriously wounded in that second car. This happened around 5 last night south of Dunn. A trooper responded to a call about a crash. Someone said that there was someone who was shot twice, a passenger, in fact. Investigators say the woman driving the car drove off the road and crashed into a concrete barrier. Now, she was not hurt. The trooper drove the man who was injured to the hospital because of his injuries, but no word yet on how he's doing. And at last check, no reports of any arrests.
Today, volunteers are braving the cold to make a warm Christmas meal for families who may not have one this year. The Durham Rescue Mission is hosting its 47th annual Christmas Community Dinner and Toy Giveaway. Beginning at 11 a.m., families can enjoy a free traditional hot Christmas meal of ham, turkey, and all the fixings. Each child will also receive 3 toys. There will be a drawing for large grand prizes, including smart TVs, Nintendo Switches, Chromebooks, and bikes. It's all happening at the men's campus on East Main Street in Durham.
The Dallas Cowboys won their 4th game in 5 weeks. They upset the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 26-24 during Sunday Night Football. And the loss was a costly one for Tampa Bay. They dropped from first place in the NFC South to outside the playoff bracket. Now, calm down, Cowboys fans. Don't get too excited because the Commanders' victory over the Eagles yesterday eliminated Dallas's playoff odds as well. Aww.
Well, listen to this. The Panthers eliminated the Arizona Cardinals from playoff contention yesterday with a 36-30 victory in overtime. Chuba Hubbard ran over for a 21-yard touchdown in overtime. The Panthers will visit Tampa Bay next Sunday to play the Buccaneers.
Week 16 of the NFL season wraps up tonight, folks. The New Orleans Saints will be in Green Bay to take on the Packers. Kickoff for that game is at 8:15 on ESPN. Detained at a TSA checkpoint, we're going to show you how one woman managed to surprise agents with all of this in her carry-on luggage.
Very scary. Plus, they aren't forgetting to treat themselves. What a new study shows, younger adults are gifting themselves for the holidays.
We're showing you different live cameras this morning as well. Let's get you a live look at Franklinton. It's cold there. It's cold elsewhere this morning. The Christmas tree, though, looking nice, but a little frost in the ground, I noticed. Meteorologist Chris Michaels will return after the break to tell us when we could see some freezing rain in the forecast. Good morning, North Hills. As we're taking a live look outside right now, clear skies, and some of you are probably looking at the screen going, oh man, that's right, I gotta do some last minute shopping. Not without a coat on, you don't. We've got Chris Michaels right now tracking your weather forecast for you. You got a pair of 24s there, Chris.
We got a trio of 24s now, yeah. Durham and Raleigh and Fayetteville, all at 24 degrees. Some colder areas, especially North Roxborough, still in the upper teens. Bundle up as you're heading out. Midday, we're in the mid to upper 30s, and then our high temperature gets into the mid to upper 40s. Still cold out there, but we really got to pay attention to the temperature overnight. Ordinarily, if I'm saying 30 to 34 degrees this time of year, you almost wouldn't care, but we have a little bit of rain moving in. That's why tomorrow is a WRAL weather alert day. So overnight, we see temperatures drop to near freezing. Then beyond 3 a.m., we see some rain trying to push in. So this window of opportunity for patchy freezing rain is very small, because after 6 or 6:30, temperatures will start to climb to about 33, 34. So a chilly rain is expected up until about 10 or 11 a.m. tomorrow, and then it starts to shift off toward the east. So if you have plans to go to Greenville, New Bern, Wilmington, you'll probably see some rain up until about midday tomorrow. 2 p.m., we're looking at temperatures 45 to 50. So once we get through tomorrow morning, I think the WRAL weather alert day will expire and we'll see a high near 50. Then by Christmas Day, really nice, seasonable, mainly dry, partly to mostly cloudy, and a high temperature in the low to mid 50s. Average temperatures for Christmas, but as we look toward New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, the flow starts to come in out of the southwest. Could be looking at above average temperatures, some data hinting at potentially some 60s, and you see that warm up a little bit even as we head into the weekend. So we start at the bottom of the hill right now, temperatures in the 40s this afternoon. Again, tomorrow our alert day is really for those early morning hours. Christmas Day is just fine, 30s for lows, 50s for highs, mostly dry. That's the way we'll be through Friday, but then rain chances and temperatures, they're rising just in time for the weekend.
Chris, thank you. President-elect Trump says he may be willing to keep TikTok in the U.S. at least for a while. Trump made the comment yesterday while speaking to supporters in Phoenix. A new law currently requires TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, to divest the app by January 19th to avoid the ban. The deadline date is set one day before Trump will take office. The Supreme Court has agreed to hear the case. Trump has yet to provide details on how his administration would overturn the ban if it takes effect. The United States military says it's launched strikes on Houthi targets in Yemen's capital this weekend. Saturday's attacks hit missile storage and command and control facilities operated by the Iranian-backed group. The strikes are part of ongoing efforts to, quote, disrupt and degrade Houthi operations in the region.
U.S. military leadership says friendly fire is what led to a pair of Navy pilots' jet being shot down, but they were able to eject. U.S. Central Command says the jet was flying from an aircraft carrier ship when it was downed. One of the pilots suffered minor injuries when he ejected from the aircraft. Investigators did confirm that a missile cruiser, quote, mistakenly fired upon the jet. An investigation into this friendly fire case is underway.
At least 10 people were killed during a small plane crash in Brazil. Brazilian investigators say the plane crashed in a neighborhood shortly after taking off. The agency says the plane hit the chimney of a home and then the second floor of a building before crashing into a store. More than a dozen people on the ground were hurt. 2 of them are in critical condition. It's not clear what led to the crash.
Multiple people were injured after being struck by a vehicle in St. Louis on Sunday. It happened outside a custard shop. According to authorities, at least 6 people were hurt after a white sedan pulled into the parking lot of the custard shop, and one of them is in critical condition. The victims range in age from 12 to a man in his 70s. The driver originally fled the scene but then returned later. The investigation is still ongoing.
Officials at a resort in Colorado say they're working on repairing the resort's gondola after more than 170 people had to be rescued when it malfunctioned. Very, very scary here. This happened at the Winter Park Resort on Saturday. Resort officials confirmed that a crack on a tower component played a role in the malfunction. In total, 174 people had to be rescued. According to the resort, the gondola remained closed yesterday for repairs and inspections. A new part was installed and the gondola began running again last night for thorough testing and evaluation. An investigation is underway.
Nearly 3 months after Hurricane Helene, and we're hearing from a woman who survived some of the storm's worst damage. Floodwater swept away Leslie Worth's home in Ashe County. She was inside it when this happened. A bystander who saw her pulled her to safety. And months later, Worth and her husband have begun to live a new normal. They've taken refuge at a friend's cabin. Right now, the couple is leaning on support from friends and their neighbors, too.
The support of family and community has been, it's just been amazing. I mean, I just don't think that we could even get halfway through this without that.
More help is on the way to the people who have not been as fortunate. That includes a share of $9 billion for North Carolina as part of the federal government's stopgap spending bill.
Well, here's a good example of what not to pack in your carry-on luggage. Listen to this. One woman was detained at LAX when TSA found 82 fireworks. Yes, 82. 3 knives, 2 replica firearms, and a can of pepper spray in her bag. A TSA official called it extremely concerning, and a good reminder to double-check your bags before going to the airport. Needless to say, a bomb squad confiscated the fireworks.
I wonder what the plan was there. Some young adults may know exactly what presents they're going to be getting this holiday season. A new survey shows more than 40% of Gen Z and millennials plan to buy gifts for themselves this year. You can't see it, but I'm raising my hand. The top gifts are clothing, health and wellness, electronics, and even traveling. Experts say Gen Z have the highest spending potential during the holidays because they have fewer financial responsibilities.
Well, thousands gathered along Oahu's North Shore yesterday morning for a rare big wave competition. The 2024 Eddie Aikau Big Wave Invitational is known as the Super Bowl of surfing, featuring some of the world's best big wave surfers. Surfers braved 50-foot waves during the competition. The event is named for Eddie Aikau, who served as the first lifeguard for the North Shore and saved over 500 people throughout his career. Landon McNamara won this year's competition with a perfect score of 15 points. This is the 11th time the Eddie has run in the last 40 years.
Actor Martin Short became the newest member of the so-called Five-Timers Club on Saturday Night Live. Short was accompanied on stage by legendary actors such as Tom Hanks, Alec Baldwin, and Tina Fey. They welcomed him to the renowned host club. The running joke of the opening number was about confessions. Baldwin confessed to having too many children, while Tom Hanks joked that he never had COVID. Short was an SNL cast member in '84 and '85.
Well, this has become a holiday tradition, and now it's 30 years old. Adam Sandler's Hanukkah song is 3 decades old. The Saturday Night alum first debuted the song during a weekend update segment on December 3rd, 1994. Over the years, Sandler has expanded the song, added different lyrics and cultural references, but the tune has always stayed the same. Sandler says even today, when he hears the song on the radio, he gets excited.
Stranger Things is officially wrapped. Plus, it's Jack Black and Paul Rudd versus some very big snakes. Here's Rick Damagello with the Hollywood Minute.
I am nowhere near ready to leave you guys.
Stranger Things comes to an emotional end. Millie Bobby Brown made a teary speech to her cast and crew as production wrapped on the final season of the hit series. The actress shared the heartfelt message on her Instagram page soon after Netflix announced that filming finished on season 5. Which is set for release in 2025.
I am already home, and I am a wild robot.
The Wild Robot racks up some major acclaim. The animated feature nabbed the most nominations for the 2025 Annie Awards. The 10 nods include Best Feature, Best FX, and Best Character Animation. The winners will be revealed February 8th.
We're making a movie.
Guess what it is?
Paul Rudd and Jack Black star in The Anaconda!
Paul Rudd and Jack Black are taking on a giant snake. The pair are set to star in a reimagining of Anaconda and promise both laughs and scares in a new promo video announcing the film. Anaconda is set to hit theaters on Christmas next year. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
And before we head to break, here are the winning lottery numbers. And we'll get another check on weather and traffic up next.